This morning?
Yes, I am.
Anyway, we're focusing on District 4. And we have Chelsea Mack in the house, and we're going to meet her, find out how things are going in her campaign, ask her some of the questions we've asked her fellow challengers. So, Chelsea, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming back in. She was in earlier with the Realtor group when they were talking about community service. Here you are, trying to get into more
Community service. That's right. That's right. Chelsea, who's Chelsea? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself and tell us why you're running for the Yakima City Council.
Okay, well, so I am a real estate agent locally with Windermere. I'm the finance officer down at the VFW. And, you know, I believe in Yakima. I love this community. I love the people. And I want to see positive change.
Tell us just briefly your military history, referring Lance to the fact that you have several years of military experience, yes?
Yes, yeah, I did 8 years in the military.
Yeah.
Was in
Thanks
the Army.
for the service.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
that.
Thank you. 2 trips to Iraq. You know, for me, I fought for Yakima overseas, and I want to continue that fight here on a local level.
Wow.
You know, in District 4, where we really need a strong leader. District 4 is a very diverse district. It's the most centralized district. It's split pretty evenly between socioeconomic levels. You've got the beautiful Barge Chestnut area towards the west side of the district, and then you've got the more poor area towards Davis High School, where there's a huge concentration of crime. You know, that's where, you know, a lot of the concentration of murders happen, you know. That poor gentleman on Peach and Cornell, to name one of a few. So in that district, in that area, we need somebody who's going to fight for some more, you know, I think that the key to crime right now is multifaceted. We need to start encouraging the community to get involved, because as community members, you're sitting there front lines at your house. You know when something strange is going on. So, you know, helping the police when they can't be there, because we know that the police need more bodies.
A diverse district. So, are you getting different messages from different part of the districts? I mean, the next question is, what do you believe the biggest challenges facing the city? Are you getting, you know, different messages from different parts about what the challenges may be?
Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest challenge facing our community is the fact that we're not united as a group, as a community. We have, you know, we have people of all different levels in our community, and not everybody feels like they're, you know, a true member. So we have a lot of, you know, like sanctuary city debate right now. I think that boils down to we have a large group of people in our community that don't feel included. And the sanctuary city debate is very interesting because a lot of people believe that that means that we're welcoming undocumented immigrants, and that's absolutely not the case. We're the most compliant city when it comes to federal legislation and immigration. However, we have a large migrant population here in this community. It's absolutely important for our economy. You know, we're an agricultural community. But those people feel they're not calling into the police because they're worried that their papers are going to get checked. So all Sanctuary City really boils down to is they want some sort of proclamation that, you know, they're welcome and they're included. It's not saying, hey, let's have all the illegal immigrants come to Yakima. We're a sanctuary. No, absolutely not. We're saying that, you know, they just feel that they want to be included. So I think that that's a failure of our community to not bring in such a large group of people and make them feel welcome.
I'll jump ahead. I was going to have that question later, but yeah, I mean, the question is, do you support that policing policy that's been talked about here that would, you know, well, it would bar officers from asking about immigration status, even though they don't do that now, but do you believe in that policy? Would you support that policy?
I believe that we need to follow federal mandates, because otherwise we could be in a lot of trouble as a city. And when I take that oath of office, you know, when I get sworn in as city council, it's going to be very important for me to continue to follow the law. However, every once in a while, even federal law is wrong, and they do things that go against, you know, that might be a little criminal, might go against your moral code. So it's kind of that fine line that I'm going to have to walk. However, I'm absolutely in support of what happens federally. I mean, I fought on a federal level for this country, but I also want to find a way to address the concerns of everybody. You know, so far as I would love to see the city council agenda translated in Spanish on the back. I'd love to have a translator that stays there for the entire time, so at least then we have, because with a democracy, a key component to that is you have to understand the issues. You have to know what you're voting for. You have to know what's going on. You have to be educated. And so we have to just make it a little easier for everybody.
Do I hear you saying that you would support the policing policy?
Well, hold on a second. Clarify. The policing policy says we don't ask about your immigration status. It's the unwritten policy now. What they're seeking, at least on the surface, would appear to be a written codification of that, so someone could point to that on paper saying, see, don't worry, it's written right here. That's basically how it's being positioned at this time. And so the question is, would you support writing it down and making it an official ordinance of the city?
Well, that's exactly what we're already doing, though. We don't need to make any changes because we already are not asking for paperwork. So that's the big problem, is we're making this issue more complex than it really needs to be. At this current point in time, we are following every single immigration policy that is on a federal level. But we are not asking for paperwork. So we're already doing, you know, we're already there. I don't think we necessarily need to drag this out any further. We're already there, but we just need to address the disconnect is what my issue is with Sanctuary City. We need to address the community that feels unsafe and unwelcome, and just, you know, further, you know, edify to them that, hey, guess what? You're a valuable part of this community. So that's what I think Sanctuary City boils down to. And for me, basically, you know, when I went to Iraq, the most profound part of that is fighting for not just our rights as Americans, but for those people who don't feel strong enough to do it for themselves. I want to continue that fight here. That's why I'm running. I want to, you know, I want to be a voice for those who just don't feel strong enough. And I really want to focus on the community as a whole. I think that, you know, when you have people that are fighting amongst themselves, we're not coming together to fight the bigger issues and the bigger problems. So that's what I'm talking about when I want to create a community. I want to empower us to come together so that we can make change.